Okay, so as I mentioned in the last video, is that obviously Nintendo seems to be greedy because they change how it works now. You're not able to game share your games on your Nintendo Switch. I mean, I know that this feature is going to come out for the Nintendo Switch too, but the fact that they change the system mechanic on the Nintendo Switch 1 is what gets me on my nerves. Literally, I went ahead and I tested out trying to do game share, the same software in two different consoles, which was working perfectly well before the last update, and we're not able to do so. And there are also some options suggested on some forums and Reddit threads where you can actually opt out of the virtual game cards. But to be honest, this feature doesn't work. For real. Nintendo the entire game sharing or same software being used in two devices feature. So as you can see here right now, you have online license settings. By going to settings, then users, scroll all the way down to online license settings. And then here you see that you have use online license. That option is off. You want to go ahead and turn that on. But I want to point out something very important here. As you can see, the three last pointers says, regardless of the setting, you can still play using your virtual game card. So that is not going away. Also, online licenses can't be used at the same time on multiple systems. Online licenses cannot be used at the same time as the virtual game card for the same software. For the same software. So the entire functionality of actually opening the same game with two different profiles in two different systems is totally destroyed. Another way that you can get to this setting is by going all the way up to your profile page, then scroll down to user settings, then go to online license settings. And then here you can actually change it as well. My Nintendo Switch is the dark mode one, so you can see here, so that you can identify that one. And you'll notice that Splatoon 3 is not loaded right now. If I go to the virtual game cards, I do not have Splatoon 3 loaded. So now let's go to the secondary Nintendo Switch console. From here, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to validate that I have my game cards. And as you can see, I have Splatoon 3 loaded here in the game card. That one is loaded here right now. I can go ahead and load it in another system to see if it's going to transition and move it to another side where I already changed the licensing for my other game console. And then if I go to the user settings and I change the online license setting, this option was off, and now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Now, very important, it says when turned on, you can play downloaded software you have purchased while the system is connected to the internet, even if you don't have a virtual game card loaded. However, only the owner of the purchasing account can play using the software online license, and other users won't be able to play at the same time. This does not work if the game is loaded somewhere else. Also went to my profile user settings, and I also make sure that in this device, I change the online settings to on as well. Now, the game is loaded in another Nintendo Switch, the dark theme one, and I try to start the software, and it tells me that you cannot play the software with an online license. If I choose my profile now, because my profile is the purchasing account, I can actually start the game, but it has some issues because it doesn't have anything loaded yet. Now, the funny thing is that I have never used Splatoon 3 in this console with my profile. So in theory, it's going to load a brand new game with no game saved. So this is the very first screen that you get when you are playing Splatoon 3 for the very first time, that it's loading, like the world and everything. So we are not going to look into that. Now, I just loaded the game and it worked, but now if I load it with my other profile, it doesn't work. So now I'm going to go to my dark themed Nintendo Switch, and you'll notice that we currently have Splatoon 3 loaded into this console. As you can see, I was able to open it without any issues. I think this loaded properly well, and we are not going to stay and watch the whole broadcast. Now I'm going to try and load this virtual game card to the light theme or to the other Nintendo Switch, which it won't allow me to do so unless I close the game. and I'm going to try to load this game here. And because I turn on the online license, I'm able to load the game because my account is the purchasing account. This behaves similar to the secondary console, how it used to work before. So now I'm able to load the game. As you can see, I was able to open it without any issues. And now I'm going to go ahead and load Splatoon 3 on the other Nintendo Switch. And as soon as I do that, I get this message. Internet connection lost because you got suspended. Play is being suspended. And it kicks me out. So as you can see, that option is not available. Even if you're changing or you're opting out of virtual game cards, let Nintendo know that you do not agree with the changes that have been done. Or at least for the Nintendo Switch 1. Doesn't matter if you want to do this for Nintendo Switch 2. I really don't care anymore. If you release that there, whatever. But you are changing the entire mechanics for the Nintendo Switch 1. And that's what is aggravating. So this was Eddy04. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a brand new video. Also, if you don't want to use a Nintendo Switch, but you want to go ahead and play your games from PC online anywhere, go ahead and check the next video here. And with all that said, see you on the next one.